If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Sunday morning. With us today, Senator George Borrello from Chautauqua County. And give us an update of what's going on in Albany. And you have a few things on your mind, Senator.
As always, thank you very much for having me back. It's good to be here with you. We saw our first round of vetoes from Governor Hochul, and she vetoed a bill that was, I think, just absolutely irresponsible. It had wide bipartisan support, passed nearly unanimously in both houses, and it would create safety protocols for our first responders for electric vehicle fires, EV fires. Now, if you know anything about these fires, they burn hot, they burn fast, they're difficult to put out, and the governor is mandating electric vehicles.
Wait, and after you put them out, they start again.
That's right, like one of those trick candles. And by the way, they spew all kinds of toxins, incredibly hot, and very difficult to manage. It is unlike any other type of fire. And the governor, meanwhile, is mandating that our children ride on these school buses, these electric school buses. They have by 2027, you can no longer buy a traditional gas or diesel bus. They must be electric vehicles, and there is zero training been put aside, $0 for training for our first responders on how to deal with this. And she just vetoed the bill that would do it. It's unbelievably irresponsible.
Wow. I mean, and I know just a few weeks ago on the East River Drive and the FDR Drive, there was an explosion on a electric vehicle, and I think the person died. And,
yes, and you're seeing, of course, you see these e-bikes everywhere. They all run on the same electric batteries. You've had situations where fires. There have been tragic fires right here in New York City. The one that happened, I believe, in the Bronx a couple of years ago, that was just devastating. That was started by an electric battery. So this is, and let me tell you something. The vast majority of people in New York State are protected by volunteer fire departments. Now, we have paid departments, I know, in New York City, but once you leave the city and major cities in the state, you have volunteer fire departments. These are people that volunteer their time and risk their lives. The least that she could do is provide them with proper training on how to deal with these things. She vetoed it because of some lame excuse about the money not budgeted, but I can think of lots of money she could cut to support something as important as this, starting with the $10 million slush fund for Letitia James's defense.
Wow. I agree with you 110%. Is there any other subject that's on your mind? How the licenses that were given with no name on it?
Yeah, we were talking about
any
update
on that one?
Yeah, this week when I was with you on the Katz and Cosby show, we touched on that. The reaction from the governor now that we've, for those that don't recall or hadn't heard, New York State DMV is issuing driver's licenses that say no name given. This is in the case of the one driver that was part of a sting operation in Oklahoma, I believe, where they got hundreds of drivers that had similar ones. The excuse given was that this particular undocumented immigrant had some kind of legal status, but the DMV would not actually supply what kind of legal status they had to work. They said it was federal legal status. Well, for me, that probably means one of those, he checked in on an app under the Biden administration and never actually had contact with a federal official. So that's probably what they consider to be a legal status. But most importantly, they came up with some lame excuse. They found some subsection of people that live in Indonesia that that don't go by names, traditional names, or one name and not two names, no surname. And a ridiculous excuse. They never actually said that this person was part of that sect of Indonesians. It's just absolutely outrageous.
And now I worry about them using those driver's licenses to vote.
Well, here's the thing, John. You don't have to have a driver's license to vote. You don't have to show an ID. In New York State, you can walk up, tell them who you are, allegedly, and vote. So you don't have to worry about them using a driver's license because no driver's license is needed. You need it to board an airplane, to buy cough syrup. You need it for everything except for voting. Somehow, my Democrat colleagues think that that's a problem.
I got one more thing. We got 30 seconds left or so. One more thing. All my Catholic friends, and I was in with Cardinal Dolan the other day. I understand there's a suicide bill on Governor Hochul's desk on volunteer, on assisting children to commit suicide.
It's assisted suicide bill, and it's a horrible thing. I debated that bill. I led the debate on that bill in the New York State Senate.
Is there a status?
Well, right now it's on the governor's desk. She never wanted this bill on her desk, I don't think. There is a group of people that have been pitching this in my 6 years in the New York State Senate since day one. I think this became a political tool to try to pressure the governor into passing a budget. So they dropped this bill for a vote. And then it kind of, once it passed the assembly, then it caught legs. And look, this is a horribly irresponsible bill. There are people out there who I understand think that people have the right to kill themselves if they have a terminal disease, but this bill is horribly irresponsible. There is there's no requirement of having a mental evaluation. There's no requirement for an in-person doctor visit. There's no chain of custody for these deadly drugs. Literally, a prescription will be issued for life-ending drugs, and no one is making sure that those drugs actually were taken and properly taken care of. It's absolutely irresponsible. It goes further than any other state has done, because that's what we do in New York. We try to go prove that we're more progressive and make irresponsible laws like this assisted suicide bill. I hope the governor does not sign it. I'm against it, period, but there's a better way to do it than what was passed this past session.
Senator Borrello, thank you for your update, and thank you for keeping all the people in New York State informed. And God bless you. God bless America.
Same. Thank you.
If you're looking to create, grow, and sustain your wealth, download and subscribe to the Pain Points of Wealth podcast at BeBullish.com with Bob, Ryan, and Chris Payne. It's your podcast for market insights, money tips, and real talk on the economy. Download and subscribe at BeBullish.com.